Just to give my own, I'm wondering this. Like Mario Odyssey is not the best-selling Mario game of all time. I don't even actually know where it ranks on that list. Mario Odyssey was also considered to be like completely a special Mario game. A lot of people argue it's actually better than Breath of the Wild, which I don't agree with. But I mean, something has caused Zelda Breath of the Wild to explode in sales that hasn't happened with Mario Odyssey, despite it being an absolutely amazing game that's gotten pretty much just as good reviews.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think, in my opinion, it's largely to do with the really elegant and just wonderful game design that Nintendo has come up with. And I think that the game design really is differentiated from previous Zelda games and pretty much any game that Nintendo has released so far, like namely just kind of like the open world aspects of it and how when you play the game everything you do helping you just enjoy the game. Like everything you do is slowly, incrementally, like improving your ability to kind of take on the challenges of the world. There's not a lot of like pointless things that you have to do throughout the game. It kind of just like flows really well. I don't know. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I mean, just from the standpoint of, I guess, like the game selling so well, like I don't know if any of us could have anticipated that. I think that comes from the hype. I mean, I remember seeing Breath of the Wild 3 years ago at E3 and being like, oh my God, they're making an open world Zelda game and being really on the fence about it just because of how open world has kind of exploded and had, I don't know, it seems a bit overabundant now. And like there's a lot of flaws with a lot of the games. They're kind of seeming too familiar. So when I heard the news about an open world Breath of the Wild, yeah, I thought it looked freaking gorgeous, but I was a little bit worried that it was going to go kind of the route of like Assassin's Creed or one of those mainstream open world games that just kind of feels like all the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, who knew? I guess this was like the first like truly official open world game that Nintendo has ever made.
I guess so. I don't know on that one. That's a good question. The first one I can think of, yeah, I certainly felt like some of their games in the past might have been open world as a kid. You were talking
Yeah.
about Mario 64, feeling
Mhm.
like an open world game, getting to explore a 3D castle for the first time. But I can't think of any other actual legit open world game that Nintendo has ever made. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. But like
Xenosaga?
what would you that wasn't Nintendo, was it?
Yeah, Nintendo published Xenosaga. It's
Oh,
their
really?
series.
Okay. I don't know.
But I don't know,
I
man,
don't
if
know. I
that's
don't
like
need Shadow Saga.
it's the and you could even maybe argue the original Zelda was an open world game. I mean, there's no explicit
Oh, okay.
instructions.
Heard that argument before.
Yeah, so like some old man tells you there's a waterfall with some like magical sword or something underneath it, and then how the hell do you know where that's gonna be?
Yeah.
You step out, and you can only choose. Do I go left, right, up, or down? And the world is just yours to explore. So I would argue that the original Legend of Zelda is an open world game. The world is just yours to explore. So I would argue that the original Legend of Zelda is an open world game.